This is hard because I feel like I don't want to let Harry down. This is also an extraordinary tribute to obviously a very special person. And it's probably everything he didn't want. But I don't really believe that, and I know you don't either. But it's everything that we did, and it's everything that he deserved, I think. So I'm honored to have been invited to be here tonight. I know if I'd asked Harry to put it into context, he'd probably have said that it's because they needed a white person. But I also know he would have looked out and seen the family here, and probably nothing would have made him more proud. I know how important that was to him to see the family together. And now, for this reason, it would have justified us being this tribute. He would have gotten past it. And I know how appreciative he was of all of you. I know how special Pam was in caring for him and probably keeping him alive and keeping him with us for so much longer than we would have otherwise. When I was speaking to Gina before this event, I think she told me I had 2 minutes, actually, by the way. And we laughed because we knew to Harry that would have meant 20. Passionate, articulate, and unscripted, but still 20 minutes. Maria and I had a very special relationship with Harry and with the family. But so probably did half the people in this room. We adored him. And I've struggled with finding the words that can explain the relationship as well as the void that he has left us. As everyone knows, Harry never shied away from a struggle. Marched with Dr. King for civil rights, with Nelson Mandela against apartheid in South Africa, with Cesar Chavez for the rights of farm workers, and Hugo Chavez in Venezuela against poverty and inequality. And not all of these issues and many others that he championed were popular at the time. But in the spirit of his friend John Lewis, Harry could not resist good trouble. He was even brave enough to take on a truly formidable one, the battle of the sexes. First serving as co-chairman for the Women's March in Washington in 2017. In his words, man smart, woman smarter. Politically suggesting that no matter how smart men think they are, women are always a step ahead. Probably an ode to his, he would have agreed with you, probably an ode to his wonderful wife Pam and his dynamic daughters Sherry, Adrienne, and Gina. Sorry, David, but you're in good company. Upon my request, and because of his concern for the millions afflicted with AIDS, with HIV, he agreed to join the board of AMFAR, which I chaired, wanting to fight for drug and treatment access to the underserved populations in the third world. Harry was looking for a crusade, even though I kept reminding him that we were an AIDS research organization. It didn't stop him. He still was looking for a crusade, and I'd continue to remind him. Harry was so damn talented, he won the highly coveted and rarely achieved EGOT, Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. He received the Kennedy Center's honors, the National Medal of Arts, and numerous honorary degrees from prestigious institutions. But I reminded him often that he never truly realized his meaningful acclaim until 18 years ago when he made a guest appearance in a Kenneth Cole runway show in New York Fashion Week. He stole the show, obviously, but because he was so damn refined and so extraordinarily, annoyingly elegant, always. Reflecting back, when I used to experience various monumental moments, birthdays, awards, as well as losses, I lost my mother. He was always the first to call. So annoyingly thoughtful. Despite the unidentified caller part, which I'd get past, often leaving melodic and hoarse voicemails, he would ask, "How are you?" and insist that I actually answer the question. He was a better friend than I knew how to be. I was struggling one day, and the solution started with, "Why don't you come over and let's smoke a joint?" His wisdom was often something like, "When life gives you lemons, make a margarita." Harry had the unique ability to find the light as well as the purpose, meaning, and even humor in most anything. I still love laughing with him and sometimes just laughing at his laugh. He admittedly didn't take the world seriously, except when he did. And when he did, he really did. At every stage of his life, on behalf of the underserved and unempowered, he did what he could in a way that only he could. That said, he was disgusted by the treatment of young black men in the criminal justice system, as you heard from Carmen, of how often black individuals encounter loved ones for the first time while incarcerated. The cycle of incarceration, he would say, is real. He was appalled by the subjugation of women and the tolerating and even promoting of violence in the community. He was concerned that the monumental progress that so many had worked so hard for could be lost by and for the benefit of future generations. He believed the young needed to be more engaged and more enraged. The lesson of his mentor, Paul Robeson, to get them to sing your song, remained his driving force and call to action in his fight for social and criminal justice reform until the end. I believe Harry's activism was a choice as well as a calling. He used every platform he had to shine a light on injustice wherever it was, to sing the songs of those who were silenced with the same melody that consistently disrupted the status quo, with an unyielding demand for better for and from us all. Harry leaves behind a chorus of voices, still singing, still fighting, several we have heard from tonight, all of whom are now bearers of his song. In closing, in the words of our dear and inspiring friend and my mentor, daylight come and we want to go home. Harry, you have found your way home, hopefully a place of peace and eternal rest, and God knows you deserve it. I expect one day to laugh with you again about all the shit going on that we are left having to make sense of without you, almost every night and day-o. We love you, Harry.